Hi everyone, it's me Ganesh Bagalle, a student of social work in Excelsior, Sydney College. I want to say hello to my lecturer, my classmates, and I hope everyone is doing good. Today I have prepared a presentation on the topic development of Australia as a nation state. So I'll be giving some detail like I'm going through the slides. So let's go to the very first slide. The first slide is introduction. As social workers studying and practicing in Australia, it is important to understand the development of Australia as a nation state and the history of discrimination against Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. This knowledge can help us to better understand our clients' experiences and to provide culturally competent services. And definitely, being social work student, it's always important to know the culture, their history, and to gather the knowledge so that it could help us to get better understand our clients and to experience better and to judge them more properly. So, um, and the next slide, pre-colonization. I have given some detail like for how long the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples are living in Australia. That is like 60,000 years, and uh, they had complex and sophisticated cultures, economics, and social structures. And so it's always important to the students to gather knowledge to know about the complex and sophisticated cultures, economics, and social structures, and for how long they have been living and the way they have been living and the history. So pre-colonization. So from here you can get that for 60,000 years they have been living here in Australia. And to the next slide, colonization. Um, in 1788, the British arrived in Australia and began to colonize the land, uh, which led to the displacement and dispossession of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. So this is some information about the colonization when like British arrived in Australia and began to colonize. Uh, Self-government. In the mid 19th century, the Australian colonies began to gain self-government, and this was a gradual process, and the colonies continued to be under British rule until 1901. So this is the date, like 1901, which is always very important in the history of Australia. Like uh, in the few slides later, you will get to know like this date. But this was a gradual process, and colonies continued to be under British rule until 1901, 1901. Federation. In 1901, the Australian colonies federated to form the Commonwealth of Australia. So this is the date. This is very. I already told you that this is very important date in the history of Australia. So 1901, when like this is the date of like Commonwealth of Australia born, like like Commonwealth of Australia was introduced like 1901. This was a significant event in Australian history, and it marked the beginning of Australia as a nation state. So Australia became a nation, like as regarded as a nation after 1901. Before it was like a British colonies. On the very next slide, impact of colonization on Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. So, what are the impacts? The impact of colonization on Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples has been devastating. They have experienced genocide, displacement, disposition, and cultural destruction. So, these are the issues that they have been facing since colonization. And in this slide, I have given some of the social work implications. What are the implications? Social workers have a responsibility to work towards social justice and equity. So this is very common to all of you guys that being a social worker or being a social work student, it's our responsibility to work towards social justice and equity. And this includes working to address the ongoing effect of colonization on Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. For this community, uh, need to address the ongoing effect of colonization. The uh, this is crucial and really important to get better to have knowledge about this before you going to the field, like you're going to deal with the cases. uh, Culturally competent social work practice. Culturally competent social work practice involves understanding and respecting the cultures of our client. This is particularly important for social workers working with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. So always keep in your mind that social worker, we need to understand and respect the culture of our client. This is the best way we are going to deal with their problems, going to listen to them, going to respect their culture. This is particularly important for social worker working with, like same applied for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people or any other cases also. uh, like the respecting cultures and understanding cultures. Key issues covered in module first. So we have been discussing in forum discussion about like module one, what are the research you have done, like what you need to do, what are the aspect you have been in, you have been included in the module past. Like it raises issues of disposition, loss of land, and the resilience of indigenous cultures. In the module first, you have been raising issues of disposition, loss of land, and the resilience of indigenous cultures. The establishment of penal colonies by the British raises issues related to the impact of colonization on indigenous people, including disposition, disease, and violence. So the very first module you have been discussing on this, and so on the very next, like the report, assessment 3b report, I have given a lot of information about this, and later on if I got a time in this video also I'll be giving some of the information from there. So let's go to the new slide. Key issues covered in module first, to be continued. It underscores issues related to governance, representation, and political development, and it addresses issues of national identity, the role of referendums, and the relationship between the Australian colonies and the British Empire. Um, the module touches on the treatment of indigenous Australians throughout history, including issues of discrimination, disposition, land, and effort towards reconciliation. So these are key issues uh, related to governance, representation, and political development. Like uh, what module first, like what is included in module first, like it addresses issues of national identity, the role of referendums, and the relationship between the Australian colonies and the British Empire. There's relationship between them, and also touches on the treatment of indigenous Australian throughout history, including issues of discrimination, dispositions, land, and effort towards reconciliations. So going to the next slide. uh, It raises questions about cultural competence, ethical practice, and the role of social workers in promoting social justice and reconciliation. The model helps students see the connection between historical events and contemporary social issues, emphasizing and the importance of addressing ongoing disparities, advocating for marginalized communities. So of course, definitely it raises questions about cultural competence, ethical practice, and the role of social worker in promoting social justice and reconciliation. Uh, Furthermore, definitely it's going to help students see the connection between historical event and contemporary social issues, emphasizing the importance of addressing ongoing disparities for marginalized communities. Uh, Relevance of module first. It provides crucial insights into the historical and cultural context in which social work takes place. For social workers, cultural competence is vital in providing effective and respectful services to diverse populations. Learning about colonization, self-government, and the formation of nations shed light on issues like indigenous rights, land rights, health disparities, and social inequality. It provides crucial insight into the historical and cultural context in which social work takes place. For social worker, cultural competence is vital in providing effective and respectful services to diverse populations. Okay, if you go through these slides, you definitely going to get the idea because this is quite. I have prepared very uh, very simple like so. Relevance of module first. Knowledge of the historical content of Australian politics and institutions as covered in module first equips social workers to advocate for policies that promote social justice and equitable access to resources and services. Understanding this history is critical for social workers to be culturally sensitive and avoid perpetuating stereotypes or biases. So, uh, onto the another slide. Importance of module first for social work. Uh, Knowledge of this history allows social workers to navigate cultural differences, build support, and provide culturally appropriate services to clients from various backgrounds. So you will be going to deal with the clients like you have to navigate cultural differences, build support, and provide culturally appropriate services to them, which could be from different background. And the social worker need to be aware of these historical traumas to provide trauma-informed care and support healing and reconciliation processes. So definitely. Okay. Importance of module first. To be continued. A deep understanding of Australia's historical, political, and social context equips social workers to advocate effectively for policies that promote equity, social justice, and the rights of marginalized populations. And the knowledge of Australia's history helps social workers navigate ethical dilemmas related to issues such as indigenous rights, land rights, and ensuring that they uphold these principles in practice. So it's very, very important. Like going to the field, you have to uh, have a proper knowledge about the history, importance, cultures, and about the rights such as indigenous rights, land rights, and navigate ethical dilemmas related to issues. Um, you need to have a deep understanding of Australian history, historical, political, and social context to advocate effectively for policies that promote equity, social justice, and the right of marginalized populations. Um, I have, I think this is the last slide I have prepared, and on the very next slide, there are some differences. You can go and check, check there, and you can get lots of information about the topic from here also. Uh, okay. Going to the assessment 3B report, so I have given lots of detailing in this topic. Uh, I'm going to, I'm slightly covering on the uh, assessment 3B. So there also I have described about the pre-colonization, colonization, self-government, federation, and like effect of colonization on Aboriginal and Torres Strait, implication for social work, culturally competent social work practice, key issues covered in module first like land loss and disposition, indigenous culture preservation, impact of colonization, governance and representation, national identity, treatment of Indigenous Australians, historical event and present-day programs, cultural awareness and ethical practice, uh, relevance of module first. Of course, I have described here too. Importance of module first for social worker. So I hope this is all enough for the topic. So until then, stay safe, stay healthy. See you guys at the college. Thank you.